Vashawn, how was your vacation?
Have a vacation. Our first entire break that we had, so we were just together around here. However, I am going on vacation
Okay, when are you leaving us?
tomorrow.
What? I just got back. Yeah, I spent time with family, so that was great. I'm sorry about the Stillers. I was rooting for them.
I think a lot of people put that out in the universe, and they just didn't come to play. So,
I don't know if Jason, were you rooting for the Steelers? Were you rooting for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Or were you one of the people who were putting bad things out there in the universe for them?
I didn't even watch any of that because I was still just so enthralled and happy that Ohio State beat Texas.
See, we don't do that.
Oh, I do.
You know what, Texas?
You're not an Aggie. Okay, we've been here. We've done that. It's
Texas
10 years.
comes to the SEC and they don't, when we send a team through from the SEC, you're supposed to at least get to the finals. Come on, Texas.
Well, when A&M came, we finished fourth in the nation.
Yeah.
Our first year in the SEC, and pretty much that's where. Because if we would have had the playoff format, we would have been in the playoffs.
Yeah. So here's my question. I still go back to this. This is the question. Is it better to have not even made the playoffs than to make the playoffs and not win? What's better?
Well, if like in this current year, we didn't make it, so it's better not to make it.
That's what I'm putting forth for the Saints and for the Tigers.
That's a loaded question.
All right, attorneys, we're going to start jury selection today because we do have Judge Carruthers is having his portrait unveiling and retirement celebration on Wednesday in Commissioner's Court. So please be there. So we're not going to have anything happening on Wednesday in the morning because his portrait unveiling begins at 9:30. So attorneys cannot say, I wasn't there because Judge Boyd made me appear in her court in the morning, because I will be there as well. So everyone, you know the rules. Please follow the rules. You're not ready to approach the court if you have not conferred with the state and conferred with your client. If your client wishes to speak in a language other than English, then they will need to have an interpreter call down and let the coordinator know. All right, everyone. Thank you. All right, Jeremiah Esparza.
Judge, we're present for him.
All right, if you'll come forward and counsel, you're on this side.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Right here. Right here. That's good.
Hi. Hello.
Hey, Judge.
All right, thank you for dressing appropriately for court. All right, so where are we on discovery?
Judge, we're still missing 41 manual files, but it's my understanding the case has been transferred to the 379,
Okay.
and that will take care of the discovery
Okay.
issues over there.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, my understanding is Jeremiah Esparza has been transferred to the 379. All right, so you won't be in this court, you'll be to the 379th. The reason why cases are transferred sometimes there's a co-defendant over in that court and they have what's called the lower JN number. So you won't be here, you'll be in that court.
Okay.
All right, and it's right across the hallway.
Thank you.
All
Your
right,
Honor.
thank
We'll go report in there now.
Thank you. You need to go to the clerk, ask them to pull the file.
Is there?
On Cotner and Soriano.
And then I will call you up.
There we go. I think he told me he was retiring the last time I spoke,
Mhm.
and now they're gonna put a picture up on it.
Yes, we are.
It's been great knowing him. He's really a great guy.
Oh, he's awesome.
I like him. It'll be somebody I'll miss.
Mhm.
I'm sure he won't miss us.
Enrique Soriano. All right, this actually was supposed to be on the docket for tomorrow, but everybody's here today. So today is his plea deadline day. So does he want a jury trial? Do you want a jury trial?
We, Judge, we were waiting for some information and we found out today that the dash cam is not available in this case. I got the blood draw diskettes and I need some time to review it, but
I have that the final discovery for the blood draw was November 18th. And then on December 16th, the state tendered an offer. So today, well, it actually was set for January 14th, which is tomorrow. So I don't know why it's on the docket today, but everybody's here. So my question is whether or not, today is the plea deadline date. So is there a reason for me not saying that today is the plea deadline date? Because that's what it's set for.
well, all I can tell you, I'm not ready for a trial, but I'm certainly open to confer.
All right, so if you all will confer on that. All right, thank you. And thank you for
Judge.
dressing appropriate for court. You always do.
My pleasure, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Hey, Judge, the reason he was sent
Uh, Kelly Cotner.
Ma'am, what did you say?
All right, now, so for this case, there were some officer records or something
Yes,
in state.
We're not going to sponsor that officer's witness.
All right. But the question is whether you are going to sponsor the officer or not. Did that officer have anything to do with this case?
Yes, he did.
she did.
So then the question becomes whether or not the defense is just going to accept that that officer is not going to be called as a witness, because maybe they want to call the officer as a witness. I don't know. So where are we on that? Have you all conferred over that?
Well, not over that. I mean, he's not somebody I would want to call with.
All right, so then do you need the records then? Since they say they're not sponsoring him as a witness, they're not going to call him.
That's correct. Now, because of that, there's a secondary officer that they intend to go forward with, who didn't make the arrest, who didn't make the stop. And I've got some motions I'd like to file on that.
Well, why? I mean, I don't understand why that hasn't been done. What motions need to be filed on that?
Well, I don't know that that officer can sponsor this other officer's stop and video when she wasn't even there.
I mean, well, that'll be something for you to take up at trial and see whether or not, and I'll make a ruling on whether or not that officer is allowed to testify. But whether or not that officer is allowed to testify, I can't make that decision unless you're actually in trial, because I don't know what the state's evidence is going to be. I don't know if that officer has any ties to this case whatsoever, tangentially or not. So that would be something that would have to be taken up at trial, whether or not that witness is relevant.
Well, there is an issue on the stop itself. But it is a video that was made by the officer that they're not going to sponsor.
All right. So what I'm saying is this, and I want everybody to hear me clearly to make sure that I'm communicating what I'm trying to say to you.
Yep.
In a jury trial, witnesses will be called. I don't know anything about your case. The only thing I know is what you're charged with. I do not, and I'm not allowed to do a pre-jury trial where I hear everything and make decisions, and then people can then have a trial. So what will end up happening is the state will call witnesses. If there's a witness that the state intends to call and the defense thinks that that witness is not relevant, then I will make a ruling. If I determine that that witness is not relevant, then guess what? That witness won't testify. For example, on your case, I know nothing about your case. Hopefully, Ms. Abrams knows nothing about your case. So if the state were to decide to call Ms. Abrams as a witness in this case that she knows nothing about, then you know what your attorney would probably do? Your attorney would probably say, Your Honor, I'm object to Ms. Abrams as a witness. She knows nothing about this case. Then you know what I will say? Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you'll step outside, we're going to have a hearing outside your presence. And then I will have your attorney to question the witness. He'll probably say, Ms. Abrams, were you at this scene? No, I was not. Do you know anything about this case? No, I don't know anything about this case. Then I will turn to the state and I will say, State, how is this witness relevant? And then if they tell me, well, she doesn't know anything, then guess what I will say? This witness is not allowed to testify. Ms. Abrams will step down. The jury will come back in. I will give the jury instructions and I will say, Ms. Abrams, the witness who was called, you're disregard any testimony that you've heard from her. It's as though she never even appeared. But I won't know if she knows anything about this case or not unless we're in a jury trial.
Well, then, we do have some motion and limine issues on the case.
With the motion in limines, the way that happens, unless there is some legal reason that it appears that testimony or something cannot be heard, then I can make a ruling on it. But I can't grant motion in limines when I know nothing about the case. For example, the only way that I will be able to grant a motion in limine is, this is a DWI. Let's say somebody's saying you committed a murder also, right? That is unrelated to this DWI. With that, I can say that is not coming in whatsoever. But usually with motion in limines, it's different things where the attorney does not want certain things brought before the jury. And what I'll tell everybody is I'll say, look, state or defense, if the state has a motion in limine, I'll say, if you're going to get into the fact that she cut down Auburn's oak tree or whatever, I'll be like, y'all need to approach before you question that witness about that. And then the jury will go outside and then we'll talk about it. And I'll say, okay, what does her poisoning or cutting down the tree in Auburn have to do with this case? And again, if it has nothing to do with the case, I'll be like, it's not coming in. Or if I find that it's more prejudicial than probative, it's not coming in. But I can't make those decisions until I know what's going on with the case, because the only thing I know about your case is what you're charged with. I don't know any facts of the case whatsoever. I don't know. The only way I know about blood draws or whether was there a blood draw or not is because of discovery issues that were asked for. So that's where we are.
Well, Judge, I do believe I have a right to file a motion to suppress the blood draw. I have a
Yeah, but
right
has that
to
been
file a
filed?
motion to suppress the video.
Has it been filed?
I'm going to file it now, but this is the first notice that I received that they're not going to use that witness at all.
Okay.
So I'm asking you to give me a 2801 pretrial hearing.
Well, you all need to file those and file it today and it'll be heard today. Thank you.
I don't know that I can file it today.
This case has been going on since July 2024. And I know Ms. Cotner is ready for this case to be concluded. And this case is going to be concluded. So it needs to be filed today. We've been here forever on this case.
Well,
So
Judge,
file the
this
motion.
is the state's delay, not mine.
Mhm.
You understand that?
I do understand that. And what I'm
Okay.
telling you is motions need to be filed and those motions need to be filed today. I don't know how many other ways I can say it.
Right.
Your
So-
motion needs to be filed today.
I will file it today, but it's what I heard you say you would hear it today.
File your motion. State, have your witnesses here. Discuss, confer.
Okay. Very good. So is Mr. Soriano excused?
No, you're supposed to be conferring.
Well, assuming we don't do a video, a plea on his case.
You all need to confer. And then once you've conferred, then you can approach attorneys. You need to confer with the state before you approach the court. Thank you. All right, Aceves. Aceves.
Judge, Mr. Alcivis indicates that his attorney won't be present today. So this is just a compliance check-in.
All right, so hi, how are you doing? Are you surviving the cold?
Yeah, very difficult.
Well, here's the thing, in San Antonio, and I have done this, but I don't do it anymore. When it's super hot, when it's 100 degrees, everybody's like, oh, it's so hot. And now we have this beautiful weather. People are like, it's so cold. I'm loving this weather. I'm just gonna own it and say I love it. You can tell the people who are from colder climates.
Mhm.
I still don't understand this, walking around with shorts with a sweater on.
They say as long as the top half is warm, the bottom half is. They don't really get cold down there.
All right, I need somebody to do some research on that. Mahia, is there anybody willing to research that for me? I'm not gonna do it because my mom would be upset. So how's everything going with you?
Pretty good, man. Still keeping on my same job and going to probation once every month and doing the drug test and all that.
That is awesome. You've been doing a great job. Miss Abrams, is there anything else?
Judge, his probation officer indicates that there have been no issues. He's been doing very well on his probation.
Okay.
And we would ask that possibly we can amend his field visits to once every other month or once every 3 months at this time, Judge.
Okay. All right, we can do field visits. We'll start you off with once every other month.
Okay.
And then slowly we'll do it to maybe once every 3 months and do that route. It's sort of like being, when you send a child off to college, sometimes you've had them on lockdown and then they go to college out of state and they just lose their mind. But we're not gonna let that happen to you.
So as of right now, there are no concerns, Judge.
Okay. All right, so we'll alternate them in for field visits once every 2 months. And then what we'll do is we'll do a check-in with you and have you come in and then see how those once every 2 months go. And then we'll do something else with that, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, when do you want him back, Miss Abrams? What month?
Judge, Mr. Aceves mentioned that he'd like to travel to Mexico possibly in April. He doesn't have those dates yet.
Okay,
So maybe at the end of March or
all right. So I will tell you this, whether or not I allow you to go to Mexico with family depends 100% on you. If you're doing great still, then guess what? You can probably go, okay? But you'll still need to get written permission from me. So Ms. Abrams will send me something with the request and I'll ask the state if they have any objections with it. Usually if you're doing well, they won't have any objections, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we can put it, you want to do the week of March 24th?
fine, Judge.
All right, what is good day for you? Monday, Tuesdays, Thursdays, what day?
It's about a week through Friday at night until the next Sunday, like maybe in the morning.
No, she's asking what day is good for you to come back to court before this?
Sorry, I apologize.
No
ma'am.
problem.
It can be anytime.
All
any
right,
day.
so do you want to come back on Monday? That's the 24th.
Mhm.
You sure that's good for you?
Yes, on March.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so we'll bring you back on March 24th for just a check-in update. I'm sure it's going to be fine. And again, if you have any questions about something or there's some issues, just let probation know or let your attorney know, all right?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, they're going to give you a reset form and then your excuse.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor, please go through this. Your Honor, please. I would be very patient there.
Okay. Where's his attorney? Excuse me. No. Come forward, please. Come forward. Hi. Hi. There's no kissing in the courtroom. I don't know why people think this is not a dating service. This is not where you're kissing people goodbye. I know what people see in Lifetime movies, but that's not allowed. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor, I apologize.
All right. What's your name?
Michael Hernandez.
Michael Hernandez?
Yes,
And were you supposed to be in court today?
ma'am. She's supposed to be court. I'm her support.
All right.
I apologize.
All right. Have a seat. And you need to sit on this side on the back row.
Yes.
All right, so I have this, where's the attorney for Richard Flores? All right, they're not ready.
Judge, may I reapproach on Aceves?
Yes.
So the last time he was here, we modified his conditions for every 60 days.
Okay,
Can
that's
we do
fine.
for every 3 months now? Every 90 days?
Yes,
So do you want everybody in handcuffs, Judge, for they came late?
yes.
Take them into custody.
They need to be in handcuffs and then they're gonna be taken into custody. Yes.
Judge, thank you for your help. Looks
You-
like we worked everything.
All right, you're welcome. Communication is key.
Yep.
Stephen Walbarker, where's your client?
Not here, the judge, he was supposed to be here on MTR last Tuesday.
Mhm.
He called me that morning and said he could not hardly get out of bed. He was under a great deal of pain. I couldn't go to the doctor. That afternoon, he sent me something showing he has a hernia.
Okay,
Angelini said he's gonna put a warrant out. I said, well, I'll get you a verification this afternoon. He put a warrant out anyway.
Mhm.
What I want to know is, can I bring him in tomorrow? I would be asking you to withdraw the warrant because provide evidence he went to the doctor, but can we just come in tomorrow and do the MTR?
all right, so I'm not gonna recall the warrant because this is Judge Angelini's warrant. But we'll put him on the docket for tomorrow.
That's what.
All right, if you'll let Miss Ferguson know to put him on the docket for tomorrow. Deputy Laura? They have a contest. Set the pace for success. We're gonna have to do that. Okay, we got a ringer. We can have Marco.
Is it a marathon or?
No, it's like slim down, beat the summer. Something. So it's from January to March 21st. Deputy Laura, the prize for top female and top male is a $400 HEB gift card. They give you that to slim down and then they give you something to make you not slim down.
He's for gas.
Yeah. Ah, that's a good way to go.
It should be at the bottom.
Good morning, Madam
What's
Vice.
up, man? Get yourself.
Not too bad, not too bad. May I please approach on Yoshio de la Cruz?
Yoshio,
Morning, Judge, may I approach?
right, just one moment. You on Dela Cruz?
I am, Your Honor.
Just give me one moment. All right, yes.
Your Honor, this
Mhm.
morning we were just proffered a plea offer this morning. We were
Okay.
asked to come back by Judge Angelini today, so we could get a plea offer. The state needed to talk to their complaining witness.
Mhm.
If we could have a 30-day reset to figure out what we want to do in regard to that plea.
All right, how old are you, sir?
42, man.
All right, thank you. And thank you for dressing appropriately for court. Ms. Ferguson, I need a 2-week reset for a plea deadline date, please. All right, January 27th. All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Once you sign the reset form, you are excused.
Appreciate you, Judge.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You as well. Good to see you again.
You too. Hi,
Judge.
how you doing?
All right.
Hey, we're doing a portrait unveiling and retirement for Judge Carruthers.
That's what I heard, so was wondering if you had a minute, real quick minute back.
Yes, sure. Deputy Laura, just give me a moment. I'll be right back.
Is he in jail?
Yes.
He's probably gonna want him out here. Judge, can you hold off? He's not out here.
Okay, all right, thank you. Thank you.
He picked up a new case, hasn't been indicted yet,
Okay,
and it's a drug case, and it's going a high amount. So I'm gonna have to negotiate that.
all right, they'll bring him out, and if you could confer with the
Yeah.
state's attorney. All right, thank you. All right, the court is going to call 2024 CR 0150, State versus Amanda Drummond. If I could have parties approach, please. All right, and for the state,
Jason Garahan, you're outside.
for the defense? Defense,
On the record, your name. Oh, Bob Hicks.
and are you Amanda Drummond?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you entered a plea bargain agreement. And according to the plea bargain agreement, the state is recommending deferred adjudication. You're charged with possession of a controlled substance penalty group 1 gram to 4 grams. The court ordered a TAP evaluation before sentencing based upon what I reviewed in the stipulations. Have both parties had a chance to review the TAP evaluation state?
Yes, sir.
Defendants,
Your Honor.
any objections to the TAP evaluation?
Nothing from the statement.
None from the defendant.
All right.
She seems to be highly motivated for treatment.
All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Well, Judge, according to the TAP evaluation and the Tacoma evaluation, she has had a pretty rough life, part of which is occasioned by her drug problems.
Mhm.
And part of which is the fact that her family has basically disowned her.
All right,
She
and
does
I'm sorry,
have-
just one moment. And state you may be excused.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, you may continue.
She has a friend who is pretty much her sole support.
Mhm.
And she, as it says in the TAP evaluation, is very high. She wants treatment. She knows she's not going to be able to kick this stuff on her own, especially given what she was using, which was heroin daily, meth daily, and a phenomenal amount of alcohol daily. And the materials provided indicate that she is recommended for treatment and she's eager to take that treatment.
All right, could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record. All right, make sure you keep your voice up so that the court reporter can hear. All right. So do you have any children?
I do, but they're all grown.
Okay. All right. You're not going to be released today because what I'm going to order is, Ms. Abrams, I'm unaware. I don't know if felony drug court has started openings or no. So this is what I'm going to do. Because one, the reason why I ordered the TAP evaluation is I want you to be successful in this probation. And I see that there are some drug issues that are happening. So we want to make sure that you have all the tools you need to be successful. In this courtroom, to be successful on probation, communication is key. If you ever feel as though you want to use or life is just hitting you and knocking you down, you can pick up the phone and call your probation officer and tell them, hey, I think I'm going to use. This is what's happening in my life. They're not going to send me a violation report saying revoke her. All violation reports come to me. And sometimes I will have compliance hearings where I have people come in to say, hey, what's going on? So I can hopefully get you back on track. And of course, there are some things that I can't get you back on track. If somebody picks up maybe a violent offense, I keep an open mind about everything. But for that, maybe I'm just going to sign a motion and say, hey, motion to revoke. But if there's an issue with your drug use, which is what we're trying to address, you got to do your part and we'll do our part. Okay. So what I'm going to do, Ms. Abrams, in this case, I'm going to place her on probation, 6 years deferred adjudication. Here's the thing about that 6 years deferred adjudication. If you complete everything early and you're doing great, the probation will send me a notice saying, hey, can you let her off probation early? She's got everything under control. She's doing great. And if that's the case, then I'll probably let you off early. You understand? So even though I'm saying 6 years deferred adjudication, whether you're on for 6 years or not is completely in your control. There's going to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. That means you have to report. And usually it's once a month. All right. If you need to report more than that because you're trying to stay on track with your sobriety, just let probation know. They'll make adjustments. Okay. There's going to be proof of employment within 45 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. So you can get a job, but not as a babysitter, or you can't babysit. You can't work as a home health care provider. Okay. There's going to be regular random UAs. And the UAs is where they test you for drug use. Okay. I'm going to want field visits 1 time per month until further notice. Now, felony drug court is a great program. they're not going to be available to even consider accepting you till the beginning of February because of funding. I always tell everybody, talk to your legislature about getting them funding. So, Ms. Abrams, we're going to do a referral to felony drug court. And then I'm going to follow the recommendations of TAP evaluation. I want felony drug court first because they'll be able to address the drug issues plus the mental health issues. But we can also do a referral to DDRF, which is what they're recommending. If for some reason she's not accepted into that and she can't get into felony drug court, we'll bring her back and we'll consider another placement for you, okay? I just don't want you out in the world with not any support. I'm going to want 120 sober meetings and 120 days upon release. All right, probation, is there any, there's going to be 200 hours of community service restitution. Do you have any grandchildren?
I have one.
And what's their age?
She's 2.
All right. And are you in contact with your family?
I have contact with them.
All right. So let me just tell you, sometimes people want people to babysit. You're not in the condition yet to be babysitting, right? But what I will do is I'll deduct 100 hours of your community service restitution. And I'm going to order that you complete parenting classes. That's to help you when you are clean and sober and you want to be around your grandchildren. How far did you go in school?
10th grade.
All right. And then I'll do another 100 hours if you obtain your GED or some sort of trade school certificate. So I believe that community service hours, sometimes helping the community, is you getting your GED, you getting good, stable employment. So you need to complete your parenting classes. I'll deduct 100 hours off of that. And probation, if she obtains her GED or trade school, that'll be another 100 hours. If you don't want to obtain your GED or in some sort of trade school, then you're going to have to do 100 hours of community service. And sometimes that means picking up trash off the highways and byways. You understand? Yes.
I've been to trade school. I have my CDL.
Okay.
So, I mean, I've already been to trade school.
All right. Well, I tell you what, if your license is in order and you present that to probation, then I will deduct 100 hours of community service restitution.
Okay.
All right. Probation, is there anything else? I'm sorry, what? Yes. And MIC supervision. And that's a specialized caseload so they can address any issues you have. Anything else, probation? Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
I'm sorry, Judge.
Yes.
I apologize. Mr. Hicks mentioned that she lived in Karnes County.
She lives in Karnes County. However, she understands that she's going to need to live here until.
All right. So are you okay with living in Bear County? All right. So she's okay with living in Bear County. All right. So counsel, I need your client to sign the trial court certification of defendants' rights to appeal. Thank you.
That
All right.
explains why I didn't sign any of those before. Actually, I did. I
Oh.
have one.
All right, we can go off the record. In this court, as I said before, communication is key. If there is an issue, let your probation officer know. If you feel that they're not addressing it, if the courthouse is open, I'll be here. You can come in and address it with me, okay? All right, if you need anything, let us know, all right? You're welcome. Probation is going to go over conditions with you. Thank you,
Thank you.
Mr. Hicks. Have a good one.
What, how does one get pretrial to answer an email or a phone call?
Oh, you do? Pretrial services?
Yes.
All right, is it out of this court?
No.
Because I usually will send emails to them.
No, it is, I believe, out of the 175th. And this guy.
You should ask
I
the
have called and
coordinator.
left messages 3 times and emailed them 3 times.
You should ask them the court to see what they can do.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
All right, you too. All right, who's here on Waverly Whitlock? It's been a sad day in Texas with Texas losing.
Not sad for you, I guess.
Well, no, I mean, I always cheer for all the schools in the SEC. So Now, if they were playing LSU, it'd be like definitely not, you know,
I root for the Texas teams typically.
not Jason Garahan.
That's how those Aggies are, Judge. They're hateful.
All right, court is calling 2024 CR 5014 State versus Waverly Whitlock. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Megan Galloway for the state.
Orlando Gastinon for defense.
And are you Miss Whitlock?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Miss Whitlock, did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney?
Yes.
Did you understand it?
Yes.
Are you the same Waverly Whitlock who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2024 CR 5014 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance penalty group 1 less than 1 gram on June 25th, 2024 for a term of 2 years? Is that you?
Yes.
All right, state.
Your Honor, the state wishes to proceed on violation of condition number 4 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant Waverly Whitlock did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of July, August, and September of 2024 in violation of condition number 4.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
State.
We waive and abandon the remainders.
Any objection?
No, Judge.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 4, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 4? Court will find violation of condition number 4 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is, Your Honor. It is for the court to grant the state's motion, enter an adjudication of guilt against the defendant, revoke her community supervision, and sentence her to 90 days in the Bexar County Jail under 1244 of the Penal Code.
That is our agreement, Judge. She has a very little criminal history. The only history that I'm aware of is actually this case and a misdemeanor that she was also under probation for out of the same transaction. She was approved to move out of state to Arizona, and she had really nowhere else to go. She moved and left them. And she's ready to move on out of Texas. She in fact was living in New Mexico, and that's where she wants to return to and reside. And so she asked that you grant that agreement and allow her to return to New Mexico.
All right, what has she done on probation?
I'm not quite sure as to the extent of what she is.
All right, do you want to raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Waverly Whitlock.
All right, just out of curiosity, usually they take jewelry. So is your ring attached to your finger or what's going on?
It's attached.
Oh, you can't remove it?
Can't.
Oh my gosh. So is it that it's too small or there's something that you did? Because I know now people are doing those things where you can't remove the jewelry. So is it one of those situations?
I gained weight.
Oh, okay. All right. So what have you done on probation?
I did attempt to call and check in.
When you
but
say
I
you
didn't.
attempted to call, what does that mean? Did you pick up the phone and call somebody?
Yes,
Who did you call?
I called the probation officer.
Which probation officer?
I don't.
Was it Bexar County? Was it in the other county?
In Bexar County.
Okay. So how did you attempt to,
Others.
so where did you obtain the number to call?
I'm sorry?
Where did you obtain the number to call the probation officer in Bexar County? Right. So what else did you do? So you attempted to call. What else did you do?
That was it.
All right. So I don't
She
understand.
was hardly, I guess, on probation. I don't believe she was on
I
probation
didn't.
very long.
All right. So she hasn't done anything. I don't understand why I would give her 90 days, 1244. She hasn't done anything.
Well, so Judge, this would be a conviction on a record, and it would be something that it is a consequence of that decision. And so you're just asking that you allow her to accept that consequence and leave here in Texas.
All right. So the court will consider 1244, but I'm not considering 90 days for 1244. So if you all want to talk about that, you can. Does anyone know how many days does she have?
She has 90 days.
Oh,
jail time.
yeah, see. Yeah.
Well, so I mean, it would be up to a year in Bear County Jail, Judge. So
This is what I will tell you, because you're telling the court that she doesn't have a record. This is a possession less than a gram. I will tell both parties, I will not go as high as a year. So if you all want to negotiate on a time, you can.
So Judge, our recommendation is 180 days for.
All right. Is that what you're in agreement to?
You okay with it? Okay. Yes, Judge.
All right. So my understanding, the parties have agreed to 180 days under 1244 at the Bear County Jail. Is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes.
Are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes.
Are you waiving your right to appeal? All right, let me explain something to you. With the 180 days at the Bear County Jail, some people are like, oh, I'm supposed to get 2 for 1 or 3 for 1. I'm not in charge of that. The only thing I'm in charge of is sentencing you. Whatever, if they want to give you 2 for 1 or 3 for 1, that's completely up to the jail. The only thing I can say is I'm sentencing you to 180 days and they can't go over 180-day sentence. Do you understand? Now, what I can tell you is I'm not going to pick up the phone and call the jail and say, I want this person to serve day for day time. You understand?
Yes.
All right. Ms. Abrams, are you in agreement with revocation? All right, the court is finding violation of condition number 4 true. The court is going to grant the motion, find you guilty, revoke, sentence you to 180 days in the Bear County Jail under 1244. And let me just see if there's anything else that's due for your plea bargain agreement. All right, there is supposed to be money paid to Zachary Watson. Has that been paid? Was there any determination of a restitution amount?
Not that I'm aware of.
Probation, any determination of a restitution amount for Zachary Watson? State, I'm assuming that was something that was taken in consideration.
Yes, Judge. So she had a misdemeanor burglary of a vehicle that she was also revoked on, and I believe that it was a condition in that case mirrored in this case.
All right, so the question becomes, have you paid anything to Zachary Watson?
No.
I'm going to put in here restitution, if any, to Zachary Watson. Is there any objection?
No, Judge.
All right. And the reason why I'm including that is because that was a part of your plea bargain agreement. So restitution, if any, to Zachary Tompkins Watson, and cause number 729-266. All right. Is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing?
Not from the state, Your Honor.
Nothing from defense.
All right. All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. It appears that you may have drug problems. Don't visit those drug issues on your mom. You need to make sure that you get into sober support meetings. That's what they call the NAAA meetings now. Or if you need inpatient treatment, there are plenty of places that are free. If you can't find a place that's free and you need the help and you want the help, you can always come back here. I will, use whatever contacts I have in here to reach somebody in Mexico or Arizona or wherever you may be. But if you don't get a handle on this and control this, you're going to be picking up more and more cases, and you're going to look up and a majority of your life is going to be passed you by, and it's going to be in a haze. Because how you've been liking the Bear County Jail. Yeah. So you got to remember that. Okay. All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, and I am so sorry. Excuse me. Can we go back on the record on that case briefly? And there'll be credit for any time served. That's all I needed to add.